The best amongst you is he who pays his debts in the most handsome manner. Bukhari. Adhere to righteousness even though you will not be able to do all acts of virtue. Know that the best of your deeds is salat, prayer, and that no one maintains his ablution except a believer. Ibn Majah. The best of your leaders are those whom you love and who love you, who pray for you and you pray for them. The worst of your leaders are those whom you hate and who hate you, and you send curses on them and they send curses on you. Muslim. Avoid that which I forbid you to do and do that which I command you to do to the best of your capacity. Bukhari and Muslim. Shall I tell you who has the best degree among people? A man who takes the rein of his horse to do jihad in the way of Allah. Shall I tell you who has the best degree among people after him? A man who lives alone with a few sheep, performs the prayer, pays the zakat, and worships Allah without associating anything with him. Muwada. The best charity is that which is practiced by a wealthy person. And start giving first to your dependents. Bukhari. The best jihad is the word of justice in front of the oppressive sultan. Abu Dawud. The Prophet, was asked, which is the best deed? He said, to believe in Allah and His Apostle. He was then asked, which is the next, in goodness? He said, to participate in jihad in Allah's cause. He was then asked, which is the next? He said, to perform Hajj Mabrur. Bukhari. Abdullah bin Masud asked Allah's Apostle, O Allah's Apostle, what is the best deed? He replied, to offer the prayers at their early stated fixed times. I asked, what is next in goodness? He replied, to be good and dutiful to your parents. I further asked, what is next in goodness? He replied, to participate in jihad in Allah's cause. I did not ask Allah's Apostle, any more, and if I had asked him more, he would have told me more. Bukhari. Somebody asked, O Allah's Apostle, who is the best among the people? Allah's Apostle, replied, a believer who strives his utmost in Allah's cause with his life and property. They asked, who is next? He replied, a believer who stays in one of the mountain paths worshipping Allah and leaving the people secure from his mischief. Bukhari. The best people are those living in my generation, then those coming after them, and then those coming after, the second generation. Bukhari. The best words are the words of Allah, and the best guidance is the guidance of Muhammad, Sunan Ibn Majah. Ali ibn Abu Talib said, when I narrate a hadith from the Messenger of Allah, to you, then think of him as being the best, the most rightly guided and the one with the utmost taqwa, piety, righteousness. Ibn Majah. Abu Dhar asked the Prophet, what is the best deed? He replied, to believe in Allah and to fight for His cause. I then asked, what is the best kind of manumission, of slaves? He replied, the manumission of the most expensive slave and the most beloved by his master. I said, if I cannot afford to do that? He said, help the weak or do good for a person who cannot work for himself. I said, if I cannot do that? He said, refrain from harming others, for this will be regarded as a charitable deed for your own good. Bukhari. The best rows for men are the front rows and the worst are the last, and the best rows for women are the back rows and the worst are those in the front. Nasai. The best of you are those whose shoulders are soft in prayer. Abu Dawud. You will, must, enjoin the good, and you will, must, forbid the evil, or Allah will make sovereign over you the worst of you, who will afflict you with the worst of punishment, then the best of you will make du'a and it will not be answered. Ibn Qayyim. Some people asked Allah's Messenger, whose Islam is the best? I.e., who is a very good Muslim? He replied, one who avoids harming the Muslims with his tongue and hands. Bukhari. A time will come that the best property of a Muslim will be sheep which he will take on the top of mountains and the places of rainfall, valleys, so as to flee with his religion from afflictions. Bukhari. There are 40 virtuous deeds, and the best of them is the maniha of a she-goat, and anyone who does one of these virtuous deeds hoping for Allah's reward with firm confidence that he will get it, then Allah will make him enter paradise because of it. Bukhari.